This is In My Lounge Room, and I'm your host, Sky.
And I'm your other host, Damo, and on this week, part 4 of Back in the Catfish.
Hey, Damo.
Hey, Sky, how are you?
Oh, good. I'm great.
That's good, yeah.
I've got my kids back.
Excellent, yes. So it's been a...
Sounds like they've been in foster homes or something.
No, just school holidays, which was the opposite for me because I've just offloaded mine. On Friday, so I had her for the week, and we had a 24-hour round trip to Bustleton and spent the rest of the time at home because the weather wasn't great.
Oh, it's so gross.
Hasn't been amazing.
It's gross.
But yeah.
No. I had my friend come over with her kids today, and we just played, they played nonstop, and we caught up on 6 months of goss.
Oh, nice. Oh, good. All right. So look.
It is.
We were just chatting. I mean, normally we like to have a little bit of bullshit go on at this point, but between me and you, this is part 4 of a very epic tale, and I'm sure our listeners are loving it, but I'm getting really tired of it.
Well, I'm literally messaging you saying, can we just not do it? Can we do something else?
Yeah, no, I think we have to finish the story because it is like, it's like anything. You can't watch, you can't jump episodes without knowing what's going on. So what we'll do is we'll just get straight into it. So this is a quick 2-minute intro and we're going to get right into the meat of it, which is the Beck and the Catfish story. So I'm just going to bring that forward now and just going to do a bit of a recap to see where we're up to. Oh, that's right. We're talking about him going for a drive and her calling him and the her hearing a different car.
How come this sounds like a different car? It sounds like almost like a van, like an older van or 4-wheel drive or something. Whereas his car doesn't really sound like that. And he goes, "Oh, I've got multiple vehicles, but this is a work vehicle." And I was like, "A work vehicle? Why would you have a work vehicle that you're going to borrow?" And he's like, "Oh, we kind of share it around." And I was like, "What? Share it around?"
I've got 2 cars.
I don't know.
Sorry, that's just me.
I know. And I was like, "Oh, okay then. Okay, that's fine." Like, so I kind of just let that go. But I was like, why am I hearing a different car? Like, like I'm letting him know that I pick up on things.
Yeah.
So then he says, and I said, "Look, you're still on the dating apps. You keep telling me that you want me, and I just don't believe you because you are still on your dating apps, and in this whole time, he's made about 4 profiles, all with Tyson as part of that name." And so I'm like, well, you're kind of telling me. I said, "I think you're just leaving your options open, and that's cool, but like you're wasting my time now because you keep offering to me and then you fuck me over." And I said, "My time is important." He's like, "What if I said your time's not important?" He sends me a voice message. "What if I told you your time's not important?" He's like, "You talk to guys all the time." And
So, okay, just a quick one. She's going on about how he's saying she's saying you're still on the dating apps, but is she on the dating apps and is checking this out too?
Yes.
That's where I'm confused. So then she's on the dating apps.
I think the point she's making is that she at no point in time has said she's not. Whereas he's like, "Oh yeah, I've deleted my profile and I'm not doing that anymore," because part of the catfish, the bullshit artist man, part of what they do is to tell you what they think you want to hear. And that's not just catfishing, that's just like what men do, right? It's men. I'm sure women do it too, but this is a man.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's just, I think it's the whole, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not on any dating apps," but then because she still is, she's then seen him there. So yeah, that's the point.
Go on.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
You talk to guys all the time and you tell me verbatim that they want to do, now he used that word specifically, verbatim what they want to do to you. And he's like, and you're very open about this. And he's like, but I'm on a dating app and I'm not talking to anybody, which we all know is a lie. But you're upset about this. And I said, nah, it's just if you want to keep your options open, you're obviously changing your profile to get
Can I
certain
just
people.
say, it's not that you're upset about that specific thing. By this point, there's a fucking big pile of things for you to be
Red
upset
flags,
about.
and they're on fire with
Yeah.
like red fireworks coming out of
So
them.
you're
Like,
just
it's
kind of
like
like,
crazy.
and like you've said, you've also gotten to the point where you're like, I'm going to fucking get this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course.
Guy is a very polite word of what he needs to be called. So I'm getting more and more angry because I'm trying to catch him out, and even those are being foiled. So and even me turning up to the BP that he goes to like twice did not come up with anything, because I was like, I'm just gonna sit in my car and just I had sunnies and a hoodie.
Hey, fancy seeing you here.
No, I wouldn't have. I just wanted to see his face. I would never let him know that I saw him, but I would want to see his face, and then I would call him out later once he pissed me off. So, and I know I sound fully crazy, but I just wanted to see who this person is, because I know that he's not who he's saying he is. And I was like hoping that maybe he had a wife, and I'd be like, look, dude, I seen you with your wife.
Yeah.
Like, that's essentially what I wanted. So yeah, obviously that didn't work either. So I'm just like, you know what? This is like too much time and energy is being wasted on this piece of shit. So I kind of just like scrap it. I just said like, look, I think you're a fucking dickhead. Like, and he doesn't open it for 2 weeks, and then he deletes me off Snap. But for whatever reason it was, when someone deletes you, it just has a cross by their name, right?
Yeah.
He's a fucking moron. He should have deleted me and blocked me. So I didn't ever cross that cross off. So I could see whenever he changed that Bitmoji, which he kept doing. So he changed it to beard, purple hair with a cowboy hat on, and then he would change it to, and it was like changing. The Bitmoji was changing a lot. So I'm like, he's been changing his profile.
Yeah.
So I don't know who he is. But his Snap name is going to be the same no matter what.
Yeah.
I didn't know you can actually change that Snap name.
Of course you can.
Once a year you can.
Yes.
Once a year.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden one day the Bitmoji disappears and there's no person there. And I'm like, that's weird. But it still comes up as Tyson in my phone. So I'm like, okay, whatever. About 3 weeks later, it changes. And it's like a guy with no beard and blonde hair. And I thought to myself, oh. So I clicked, I don't know why, but I clicked on the profile and I saw that the name had been changed. I'm going to say the name. It's Razmatats, which was a very interesting name. Like, obviously, it's like one that I'm going to see. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go look on Plenty of Fish. I bet you there's a Razmatats. And bingo, there was. So, and of course, the profile looks like the Bitmoji. Now it's a blonde-haired or fair-haired guy.
So he's deleted her. Wouldn't you just... I don't understand why she's still here. Sorry, Beck. I know you're going to hear this, but why are you still vested? Why? Damo, I don't understand. I would at this point gone, goodbye. But she's still...
Yeah. And she's so determined to catch him. And I think we made that, like we said that a number of times in the last episode. But if you noticed, through each episode, if we go back to episode 1 of this saga... we both said that. And then episode 2 we recorded twice. So we said it multiple times going. And also knowing that we'd done part 3 prior to that.
Yeah.
Going back and then in hindsight going, why is she doing this? She's just trying to catch him. Surely that's all she's doing. Is like, and so that sounds like to me, just to answer your question, is that all she's doing at this point is trying to win, trying to prove a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before then, her at the servo, waiting for the wife, all of that, still was a woman hoping that this was real.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, her words...
at that point.
She's telling me there that the reason for doing all of that is because she wants to catch this catfish. But I will also agree with what you've said, is there is a high likelihood as well that part of the reason she was doing that is because hopefully she was wrong. But isn't that like something that victims of abuse do?
Yep.
Like where they,
of course,
I've
been there.
You stay in a relationship because you're like
hoping.
Oh, they're not actually a terrible guy,
It's hope.
Yeah.
It's always hope.
Yeah.
It's always hope that it will get better, hope that it will change, hope that something is is going to happen.
Yeah.
It's always hope. It's
And
hope.
I think
and this is hope.
I think she made that point as well on an earlier place where she's like, she has had relationships in the past which were fucking terrible. So when you've had a couple of, and the thing is, I should also point out, she's not had hundreds of relationships. She was like, she had the father of her children and then like another guy. So she's had maybe 3 or 4 serious long-term relationships.
I mean, honestly, it sounds very similar to me.
Yeah.
You think about it, like I was with like my ex for 14 years and then I've had small sort of things and that's sort of been it. You know, but I don't
it does
hope much.
Yeah, it does. It does paint a certain type of picture that is all too familiar, unfortunately, and it is the it is a victim who is holding out for something which isn't real, because accepting the alternative is sometimes more difficult, and that's that whole thing where people say. Yeah, and when people say, why didn't you leave? If he was beating you up or he was calling you names or he was gaslighting you or whatever he was doing, why didn't you leave? Because it's not that simple. So
It's
I think
never that simple.
No, and I think that's really what's going on here, is that there is there's someone here who is conditioned to people being shit. And so she's trying to prove that this guy's shit, even though she knows already he's shit. She needs to catch him being shit and prove that he's shit. But at the same time, somewhere deep inside, she's going, but what if he's not?
Maybe.
What if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? And that is her blaming herself. And that is that abuse victim's mentality where they go, this is my fault. So she's blaming herself. She's going, what if I'm wrong? She's not blaming herself. She's second-guessing herself. She's going, but what if I'm wrong? What if he's actually a good guy? She wasn't wrong.
No.
And she should have trusted her instincts. But anyway, we'll keep going.
She should have. Yeah, let's do it.
Yep, cool.
Blonde-haired or fair-haired guy. And so I'm like talking to one of my other friends.
When was this?
I think it was March.
Okay, yep.
Yes, it was March, because I saw one of my friends and we were talking, and she had just come to my birthday, which she had filmed me on multiple occasions. Now, I had at the time bright red hair, and in the videos I had deliberately dressed to be like Jessica Rabbit. So, because I always get told I look like her. I'm a plus size person, so I look like a fatter version of her, but I still often get told I look like her. And I do the eyebrow thing like she does too, by accident. I don't do it on purpose. So anyway.
This one?
Yeah, that one. And so I can't do it at the moment. I've got Botox up there,
okay,
so
it
doesn't really move as much. So she's filmed me on my birthday. I've hired a party boss. We've all gotten really wasted, and she's filmed lots of stuff throughout the night. Like I noticed, and I actually hate watching myself back. So I've not really watched through, but I've seen that she's like had a million snaps, and I'm in a lot of them. I can see my redness everywhere. I'm wearing a red dress, red hair. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm telling her about this thing, and I was like, oh my God. Guess what? Something new has happened with Tyson. He's changed his profile, and I showed her the profile on my Snap. And I said, look at this Bitmoji. It doesn't even look like him anymore. And she looked at it, and I saw her face go, like, you know, she recognizes it. And I was like, you know this guy, don't you? And she was like, yeah, I think he's on my Snap. Let me just check. And we match up the names. And she's like, but where did he add you on? Like, where did he? And I was like, oh, I'm not added. This is his old profile. This is him. She was like, you're sure? And I was like, yeah, everyone told me I was crazy. This is him. And she goes, oh, well, this is Christian. And I said, yes, I know it's Christian. I said, I'm talking to him. And he's a fucking idiot because he's come back for round 2 of catfishing thinking I'm not going to know.
Wait, so you've messaged him on Snapchat on his new profile?
No. He's messaged me on Plenty of Fish with
Oh.
almost the exact same
Ah.
thing that he messaged me with initially as Tyson.
And so is he that fucking stupid that he didn't recognize you from your profile photos? Because your profile photos that you've got now are still the same as they were when you met him?
Pretty much the same, yes. So maybe I've changed 1 or 2 out. So he 100% knows that's me. My screen name, like everything.
Yeah.
So he he's decided to message me as another person. I was like, the news must be fire because he's come back for more. So he's then said, he's then like contacted me and he's said to me almost the exact same thing that he said to me initially about something about gaming. And I decided because
he's approaching you as a
Christian
fresh person.
Yep.
Not as, oh, hey, we've talked before. How have you been? Fancy seeing you here. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's either
Christians
stupid or
messaged me.
super bold.
He's super bold, I would say.
Yeah. This is after months, by the way. This is like 3 months later, having not heard
Okay,
from
so
him.
this is a long time.
Yeah, so this is like, so everything
assume that
happened
it's
before.
over.
She called him out. She got a bit stalkery because she went to try and catch him at BP and
Yes,
stuff.
very
And then
stalkery.
she just went, fuck this.
Fuck off.
He's full of shit. I've tried to meet him, I think, 5 times. It's not going to happen. He's told me all these fucking lies about how he's a famous drummer and all this shit. And goodbye, you're a crazy person. But then, like she said, because she still had him on Snapchat, she saw his Snapchat name change from Tyson to Christian. Right, or to
then the hair,
razzmatazz,
etc.
And so
razzmatazz.
This is when she worked out that her friend was also talking to razzmatazz, and she's like, "Oh, that's Christian," and she's like, "Well, that's Tyson that I've had on my Snapchat for 6 months. He's changed," and that's what then made her go, "I'm going to go on to Plenty of Fish and find this guy," and she found him through knowing her friend and whatnot. Zoom, shut up. Yeah, and so that's where she's at. She's now identified that this person that has now messaged her is the same guy, but for some reason, either he doesn't know that he's spoken to her before because he's got so many quote-unquote marks, you know, like con men have a mark. So he's got so many marks that he's forgotten that she was one of his marks at one point. Sorry, you were going to say?
No, that's pretty much what I'm saying. I think he's just super bold. I think he just doesn't give a shit. He's so confident that he can play this game that even if he has like dated her, he's
they never
not
met.
giving a shit.
Yeah, they never met.
I put dating with like little inverted commas, but, you know.
Yeah, so because like the photos that he's used before were different and like, but you wait, more comes out. It's not like, and this is why I said to her, "Oh, was he just going, oh, hey, it's me again?" But then she says things that this is where it's. Oh, well, look, I'll press play, but it's
play.
Yeah, things.
You want me to shut up for at least 5 minutes?
No. Feel free, but that's what we're here for.
So he's messaged me as Christian and he's gone, oh, you know, he's like, oh, it's something about gaming. Like, oh, have you seen Star Wars? Have you seen Star Wars or seen like 10 seconds to say you're a Star Wars fan? And I was like, oh.
Have you heard of the Star War?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, who hasn't? Yeah.
Yeah.
Vague.
So I'm like, I turned around to him and I was like, that's interesting that you would say that to me. It's almost the same thing verbatim as what someone else has said. That's why I used that word. Because I was like, in our last conversation, that was literally what he said to me.
Yeah.
So he surely must know I know it's him. No. He continues talking to me and asking me. And then he tells me, so what brings you to the dating app? I like to ask people that. And then he turns around.
I'm here to like find good sources of milk.
No, well, I mean, but I just gestured to my boobs. Sorry. So he then he's like, I always like to find out if they're there for a hookup. I'm not your person. I expect dates. I expect to be treated with respect, and I expect a certain level of conversation. So if you want to try and hook up with me, it's never going to happen. Just stop wasting your time. So I always try and ask that question, and they'll either lie to you and tell you what you want to hear, or they'll go anyway. So he's like, oh, I've been single. He tells me his sob story. I've been single. By the way, it's another tattered man, but this time no beard. And he goes, oh, I've been single like 10 years. So before he was in a 10-year relationship and now he's been single for 10 years. And I said, oh my gosh, that's such a long time. I was like, there must be a problem with you because no one wants you.
You're playing stupid yet at the same time being quite a smart ass.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh no, I've dated some girls, just nothing major. He's like, but I am very broken. And I said, oh, you're broken,
I've dated some girls in my fucking mind. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So, what happened? Like, why are you broken? And he's like, well, you know, my partner and I, we were married very young. We were high school sweethearts, which I was with my high school sweetheart for a long time. So immediately I think this is pulling on my heartstrings or something. Like, oh, high school sweethearts. And he's like, but, you know, we got married and we had a baby and the baby died at birth. So before his mum had breast cancer twice. So I was like, that's very sad. There was always like a sob story. And, you know, now he didn't have kids and he was like childless man with, you know, he can't get out.
Because in the previous story, he wanted to have kids, but the wife blocked him from having kids. This one, he had a kid and they lost it.
Yes. Yeah. So there's this, I don't know, this sort of like trauma around having children. It's very sad and lonely.
Well, what that is him going, women have an emotional attachment to babies.
Yeah.
Especially someone who's in their 30s might be a single mum. So if I tell a story about children, I might be able to hook her in emotionally. Not all women want children. Some women are like fucking vomit at the sight of it.
Yeah. So he then tells me he's from Melbourne now. And I was like, oh, we're in Melbourne. See, I don't know Queensland, but I've been to Victoria and I've been in like rural places in Victoria because I dated someone who lived there. Yeah. So for me, I was like, oh, so whereabouts? And he tells me some place straight off the bat. So he tells me that he has been there. And it was a random place because I looked it up. So
so he didn't just go in with something like really popular like, Brunswick or Richmond or something. Yeah.
No, it was like, I don't know, some random
Kilsyth. Somewhere obscure.
Yeah, somewhere obscure that was like really kind of like out of the way. So I was like, oh, okay. So then I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, yeah. So I'm pretending I'm dumb still. And I was like, oh, yeah. So what else? Like, tell me all your traumas. Like, I like to say that and just see what they say and see how they stumble over it. And he was like, yeah, so I've been through a lot. And then my wife, she just lost her mind after having the child and I watched her wither away into nothing or something like that, or oblivion, wither off into oblivion. So
can you imagine him standing there with the... And over that time, I watched her wither away, and the poor waif I could not handle emotionally. Just let me check the script. Yep, okay.
Yeah. It was very dramatic. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's so sad. But of course, I know he can't add me on Snapchat because I literally I've deleted all my pictures from there, but his pictures are still all there. I still have them there. I still have access to them, but he's deleted me. So he doesn't know I have access. Yeah. But he also knows I might see who he is again. So I think he's not going to add me on Snap. So he's just talking to me on the app. And by the way, he wouldn't add me on any other social media because he had to delete them because that crazy bitch who saw his...
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so he has no social media other than
But also
Snap.
Going back to when he was Tyson, you initiated adding him on Snap. So
he said, do you have Snap? And I was like, yeah. So that's what I thought would be the case here. But obviously he knows now not to do that because I'll probably know it's him. So,
or he's just learnt from that con and he's evolved his con to a new level. So even if he doesn't know it's you, maybe that's just part of the evolution of his con.
Well, I thought that.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets weird.
But here's where it gets weird.
Yeah, I mean, the whole fucking story is weird. But so then he goes, like he's still talking to my friend. And she's like, when she tells me that she's seen this profile, I said, what's the story with that profile? And she's like, oh, he was trying to have a baby with this woman. So he's made an entirely new story for me. So he definitely knows. This concrete's in my mind. He definitely knows I'm me. He's come back for round 2 of nudes.
Oh, he must be fucking insane. He must have some serious, like, level of delusion. Like, there's this fucking, like...
He thinks I'm a dumbass, I think.
Okay, so your opinion is that you think he has no idea how many women he's messing with and has no idea that he's forgotten. Do you think? Whereas I think maybe he does.
I'm leaning... I don't know. I'm leaning towards why would he tell her a different story? Why would he, in the initial, as Tyson, say, oh, I had a wife for 10 years and she didn't want to have children, so we broke up. And then this one, he's like, oh, I have been single for 10 years because 10 years ago I lost a child and it ruined me. Like, they're two different stories. If he knows he's talking to the same... that was me. If he knows he's talking to two different people, if he knows he's talking to the same person a second time round, why is he telling her a different story? Unless, like I said, he just thinks she's fucking stupid, so he's toying with her.
Or...
because he thinks she's forgotten.
Or he doesn't realise that she's got her Snapchat and everything there, so there's no concept of how.
Well, that's what I mean. He thinks that she thinks that she's forgotten that she's spoken to him. So it's like there's a couple of scenarios. Either he has forgotten her, or he thinks that she's forgotten him, or he's just playing a game the same way that she is. And we've got two people
trying to work out who's winning,
acting like they don't know the other person.
Like who can win this game.
So he's like, I don't remember this person, ha ha ha, even though he knows full well. And she's also going, I've never spoken to you before, my good man. They're both doing the I've never spoken to you thing. Do you think that's possible? That's what they're doing?
I don't know. Yes. Okay. Well, we know that she's trying to get him, sort of catch him, and he's just trying to see how long he can manipulate. It's quite fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, but do what you got to do, peeps. I think me saying he's forgotten is maybe giving him a bit much credit, but who knows? He's either fucking stupid, he doesn't know who she is, or he does and he's playing the same game she is.
Yeah, this is fascinating.
I told you it got weird. This one's real off the chain. Okay. It's out there. Do you want to carry on? Yeah, this is the episode that really everything, because the three before were all kind of build up. This is where you start going, what the fuck? How does this happen in reality? Why isn't this a Netflix fucking documentary?
Maybe I should write it. Okay.
It should. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just film it. Get some reenactments going and whatnot.
He must think, because I've fallen for it so many times.
Deluded. I think he's crazy.
So my friend, I tell my friend, I'm like, let's just play it cool. But she gets mad. She's like next level petty compared to me. So she's now saying that she's like, I'm going to find out who the fuck this guy is. And I was like, well, me too, girl. But so she's got another single friend. So she gets the single friend involved, and that friend decides to put him on like a girl's page where you can say like, are you dating this guy? Which, by the way, guys, it will fuck you up if you're cheating, if you're doing, like, these women are man hating. I got kicked from this page because I stuck up for a guy. So they are man hating. So she posted this thing and she goes, does anyone know this guy? Is his name Tyson Christian? Like, we don't know. He's from Queensland. And this girl posted and she said, his name is someone else, and I don't want to say, because this guy is not at fault. This guy does not deserve hate. He's like in a relationship, he's got kids.
So based on the photo, she's saying that person's photo is
this man X. Yeah. Yep. So and so we obviously found his Instagram. We found his Facebook, and his Facebook pictures, his Instagram's private. We tried to request it, but we haven't.
Did you DM this guy at any point?
No, because on Instagram you can't, and his profile picture, his postings on his Facebook stop in 2018 or something like. Yeah. So they're obviously quite old photos, which are all the ones that Tyson's had. But Tyson / Christian Catfish fucking dog, I don't know. Like, so we're like, okay, so Tyson has taken these photos, and the man is the correct age that Tyson claims to be. So he's taken these photos, but they're like much older photos, which you can kind of tell anyway. So I was like, he's a bit of a fucking idiot, because this part of these pictures are public. You can actually see. You know what I mean? You can reverse Google image them. They didn't come up for me, but if you maybe paid, you probably would get them. I just couldn't be bothered paying. And so I think to myself, well, he's an idiot, because now he's using older photos that could possibly be traced. Yeah. Some of them weren't, though. So I think he actually must be friends with this guy. And he's saying he's from Queensland. This guy's from Queensland. So he's only saying to me now he's in Melbourne because he knows it's me. So I don't understand.
I don't know if he does that, because that doesn't make any fucking sense. Does he think he's that clever? Maybe he thinks that you don't know that it's him.
I know, but then I started really going for it because I was
So
like,
it's
oh,
like, but at this stage, is he going, haha, it's Beck that I spoke to before, and he doesn't know that I'm the same person. Ha ha ha.
yeah, I think he's doing the
As
little
long
Dick
as
Dastardly like moustache twirl.
As long as I tell her a different story, she's not gonna know it's me.
And she's so dumb, she's going to send her titties to me again. I don't think so, sir.
Oh, Jesus,
So then he's like telling me like all these sad things about his life, like no one wants me. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. And I was like, but you know what? You could be anybody. I was like, you could be anybody. And he's like, and he kept going, oh, you're so hot. Same thing. You're so hot. How could you be a girl, like a gamer girl? Like he's like, it's unbelievable because we started talking
Once
about
again,
Diablo.
that's offensive, but yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm real. And he's like, are you sure you're not a catfish? And I was like, well, I could be a catfish. I could be some old man, some old fat man who's a stupid, ugly introvert sitting at home catfishing other people.
With no intention of meeting them.
Yeah, pretty much. And he was like, oh, that would be horrible. And I was like,
can you imagine?
yeah. Yeah. And so then I was like, oh, so tell me about any dates you've been on. Have you been on any dates recently? He's like, oh, I went on one, like, I think he said November. And I said, oh, yeah, what'd you do? And he's like, oh, I went axe throwing, but she wasn't who she said she was. Like, it was a bit of a fix-up, like, all that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh, interesting. I said, yeah, my last date was really, like, nice. I went on a 10-hour date. And I was like, yeah, and he was such a gentleman. Like, nothing happened. We were just talking and laughing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but the guy before that wasted my time for 5 months just fucking me around being a fucking catfish dog. I think he has a wife. And he's like, really? He's like, that's so shit of him. I'm thinking, this fucking asshole is now like so smug. He thinks I don't know that he's him.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm clearly trying to allude to you. I know it's you.
Yeah.
And he's not cluing on. Like, he literally thinks he's smarter than me.
He thinks he's a genius. What did he tell you he does for a living now? Did you ask
Oh,
him?
okay. So on his profile, it says he's a graphic designer, right? But he's wearing tradie clothes in one of the pictures.
Right.
And he's covered in tattoos. And
I just need to get my mind around everything.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason she can't see anything after 2018 is because he's fully locked down his Facebook, not because he's not using it. Just heads up there.
She's talking. That's not him.
yeah.
That's the person whose photos he's stolen.
No, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's the third person.
I just want to make it clear that if you can't see photos after 2018, it's not because they've stopped using it.
No.
Just
But
an FYI
it
everyone out
also,
there.
if you've locked it down and then you change your profile photo, it will have your profile photo with the date you uploaded it. So if his most recent profile photo, we're talking about the person who has had their photos stolen by Tyson.
Yes.
If his most recent profile photo is 2018, then someone who's acting as a catfish would see something like that going, well, this guy hasn't updated his profile since 2018. I'll use his photos. Yeah. But yeah, go on. Yep, sorry.
Also, let's be clear, like, catfishers don't give a shit about the people's profiles they're using because they sometimes use like semi-celebrities.
They do, that's right. Yeah.
You know, people with like 100,000 followers. So they don't care.
No, that's right. So I think that's that's an important thing that I thought as well. That like quite often when she said that, I was like, well, I didn't say it at the time, but yeah, and you're dead right. I've seen that where people have, when I first used Plenty of Fish like 7 years ago and got the hell out of there, you would get women messaging you and their photos are too good to be true. And then you reverse image search them and they're a model from Venezuela, or something like that. And it's like, don't fucking go and steal people's photos. But yeah, it's that simple. But yeah, sorry.
People do it all the time. I mean, people use mine because I'm so attractive.
Wow. And let's face it, once it's on the internet, it's public domain. So people will do what they want with your photos.
Exactly. It's like you get the whole thing about being careful with your kids and all that on social media too.
Yeah, it belongs
babies in particular.
It belongs to Facebook once you put it there. So they will do what they want with it. Don't put anything online, no matter whether it's private or not. The second you upload something to Instagram or Facebook, it becomes the property of Meta. And if they want to use that for advertising purposes or for selling, for marketing, whatever, they will. And no amount of copy-paste bullshit. Have you seen those scams, like those where people It's that hoax.
Yes.
Like, as of tomorrow, Facebook will be
For fuck's sake.
will doing this and posting this. I do not give permission for Facebook. Whenever I see
No.
someone put that, I'm like, oh wow, and I thought you were intelligent. Clearly stupid. Just for the listeners out there, that's not true. Nothing you say will change the fact that Facebook own your photos.
Yeah, nothing. When it first started happening, like 10 years ago, whatever, I used to comment going, this is a hoax.
Yeah.
And then people were like, no, it's not, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just like, roll my eyes when I see it.
And it's just like
whatever.
Is your memory that short that you forgot last time this happened and didn't change a single fucking thing? Yeah. Yeah, sorry. So getting back to the story, you were talking about man on Facebook. You said, first of all, so the man whose photos he's stolen, and then?
Yeah, so I just think she has some very naive attitudes in regards to online. No offense, Beck, but regarding like online personas and images.
Yeah.
So I mean that I know she's trying to catch him out, but also she's still very naive about this whole concept. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, so now we're just talking about all these other. All I wanted. Okay, and also sorry, this graphic design tradie tattoo thing, like. You can wear tradie clothes and be a graphic designer. I just feel like she's just constantly now living in this hindsight world.
And he's got tattoos. She said that a few times about him having tattoos.
I work in marketing and I have tattoos.
I work in the industry I work in and I have tattoos. I know, you see police officers with full sleeves, you know. It's not just criminals and bikies that have tattoos and baristas.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing these days. Man
These
buns.
days.
Although, you know, if I walk into a coffee shop and the guy making my coffee doesn't have a full sleeve and at least a beard, even better if he's got a twirly moustache. But yeah, if he doesn't have a full sleeve tattoo and like some form of trendy facial hair, I don't want him to make my coffee. What would he know about making coffee?
Right? Nothing.
But yeah, so yeah, no, I agree that whole tattoos are just a form of artwork on your skin and they don't determine who you are. Yeah.
And so a graphic designer can have as many tattoos as they want and wear tradie clothes.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I got a mate who works in the mines.
Anyway.
And that's all he wears. On his weekends off, he wears high-vis because he's got it.
Good for him.
It's like, why would I want to choose clothes when I get
to buy extra
clothes from work? Yeah. All right. Should I carry on?
That's why I wear activewear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So on his profile, it says he's a graphic designer, right? But he's wearing tradie clothes in one of the pictures, and he's covered in tattoos. And then he tells me that that he's actually a tattoo designer. So he's a graphic designer for tattoo artists, and he's self-employed.
Okay. I'm getting Forrest Whitaker eye on that one. I know tattoo artists and I know graphic designers. Tattoo artists don't design in the same way that graphic designers do.
Correct.
Like they draw things. They might use a tablet to draw. I know some guys who use tablets to draw and stuff, but it's a little bit different.
Correct.
Yeah.
So to me, I never got that deep into a conversation with him about his job or anything like that. I kept everything very like plain, boring kind of thing because I was like, I don't really want to fucking invest that much time. But my friend, he's sent her photos of his work and all this stuff. So she
What does he say to her that he does?
The same thing, but he has a tattoo studio from his home that he has people working at, and that's how he makes his money.
He has a tattoo studio at home. Gee, the industry would like to know about that.
Yeah, correct. I know it's dodgy as fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, well, we need to like draw him out. Like I said, oh, so has he tried to go on a date with you?
And he hasn't at any point in time said, I'm a millionaire drummer who like.
Oh, he does play the drums and play because I was like, oh, I love music. Like, what kind of music do you listen to? Same kind of music.
He's retired that story because he realized how fucking flimsy it is, and then he realized that the person that he was impersonating is actually famous.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and when I looked at the Delta Empire thing, it literally was like someone's made a fake TikTok of us, and I was like, that's him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, I felt like messaging them and being like, oh, I know who that is. I just don't know who that actually is. But like, maybe find their IP address. Maybe we can team up. But yeah, so then he's told my friend like all this stuff, pretty much the same story that of the Tyson story, which she knew the Tyson story. So I was like, how did this not compute to you? Like, you know all this stuff. And then yeah, so she ended up trying to lure him out. I said, did he ever ask you on a date? She was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, why did he not go on the date? And she's like, COVID. And I was like, so the COVID story comes back again, center.
Did his dog die?
Well, no, she didn't end up going on another date.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she didn't end up. She was like, oh yeah, I tried, but like he was like still sick. I was like, was he sick for about 2 weeks? And she was like, yeah, actually he was. And I was like, oh yeah. So this is just Tyson being Tyson, I think.
Christian Tyson.
Well, it's Christian Tyson, whatever his name is.
His name could be fucking George.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I feel like I said, did he ever send you videos of himself? Right, to her. I was like, did he ever send videos of it? And she goes, no. And I was like, did you ever send him nudes? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, it's okay. I said, I sent him some. Like, I don't care. I was like, you know.
Not a crime.
And yeah, and I said to her, I was like, you know, it's fine if you did. And she was like, they were a little bit risky, but nothing full on. And I was like, so pretty much she probably was covered, but you could see like maybe like a little bit of side boob or something. But
depends on your perspective of full on. She wasn't like strapped to a table, you know.
No,
using
yeah,
a beer
exactly.
bottle or something. You know?
Yeah. So she's like, and I was like, so now he has your nudes. I said, I really hope for your sake that he just keeps these because like I'm fine with whatever he does because I've come to terms with that. But for her, I think she would be upset. So so now she's pissed off because she's like, fuck, this man has done this to me.
So
and
he's collecting notes.
He must be.
Yeah.
So anyway, I see there's a Bad Dates Perth page, right? And there's single people, not single people, and usually people post fucked up stories. So this girl had started posting about this guy, and she was like, oh, he has a couple of red flags, but like, you know, we went to go on a date and then he got COVID. And I said, oh, his name wasn't Tyson or Christian, was it? Like, I just was joking around.
Yeah.
And instantly some girl posts underneath, and she's gone, I think we're talking to the same person. And I've gone, bingo, because this is what I'm hoping for, that I find like a bunch of women and we just hate on this, one particular dude.
Four women at this point.
Yeah, well, to my two friends.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, my friends and my two friends, we're in the same industry. You are an idiot if you think that the kind of job that we do, we don't know each other because we're from similar areas.
Yeah,
you're a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
Like. And especially two that look very similar and from a similar area. If you look on the map, we're the next suburb over from each other, for fuck's sake.
You're going to at least know about each other.
Yeah. So anyway, so this new girl, so this fourth girl, she then messages me. She goes, oh, I think we're talking to the same guy. And I said, oh, yeah, is he this, this, and this? And she goes, oh, no, that's not the story I have. And I'm like, okay. I end up talking to her for 2 hours on the phone. And now he's got the dead kid, the dead baby. And the ex-partner. Oh, actually, no, sorry. No, that was the story only for me. So he still had the missus that didn't want kids, right? So he had that story with her.
Yeah.
And then he has like a dead brother now. So there's still someone dead. His dead brother, because the guy he took the photos of has a tattoo here, which actually says Jace, but he obviously has misread it as Fate, and his brother's name is Fate, apparently, and he died. But he also has another brother. So he had like another brother, which this is kind of funny. He had another brother with my friend, and his brother's name was Damo. And I know, I found it so funny when she was telling me. I was like, ironic. But yeah, so Damo died. And he kept they were twins.
Fuck.
I know, sorry, bad news for you. But they were twins, so they looked exactly the same, and people kept mistaking him for it. So he had to leave Queensland.
This is exhausting. Are you exhausted?
It's a lot, but I've heard this before. It went from, you know, the first 3 episodes were slow kind of build up with Beck's interactions with this guy. This one, she's come up with, there's random woman from Facebook, there's her friends. They've now identified that he's stolen photos from someone in Queensland.
Yeah.
They've also he's telling the same story to different, because for a bit you could be forgiven for going, are we sure that Tyson and Christian aren't 2 different guys? And she's just like, but no. It's quite evident now that this is all the same guy.
Yeah.
all of these different
Catfishing
stories
a
with the
million
dead
women.
brother and the
Yeah.
yeah. It's nuts.
Ridiculous.
And exhausting for me and you. What's it like for him? How much energy have you got, bruh?
Too much energy. Or
Crazy.
like he must be. All I'm going to say is he must be like someone who never leaves his house. He's sitting at his computer, just creating these personas, manipulating these people. Don't you think?
Just in his he's just. Or is he so well practiced? Like, we don't know. This guy could be 60 and he's been doing this for a long time. And, like, he doesn't meet people. Like, who knows what his story is? Like, I know he's not, because allegedly the photos that he sent back on Snapchat that I've seen, he looks like a man in his, I haven't seen the nudes, but like he looks like a man in his 30s.
Yeah.
However, with the filters, his face has completely changed. So he could be anyone. But yeah, it's a lot of work to come up with. But they're all stock stories, and they're all different versions of similar stories.
He definitely
with the
likes to
wife
use the
and
death,
child
doesn't he? Like,
yeah, because people feel bad for people who have lost.
Jace, Fate, whatever.
So, yep. And he's targeting. I don't know if Beck's mentioned her profession, but so I won't, just in case she hasn't at this point. But I think he might be assuming that people who work in that industry are stupid too.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marketing
so he's
people.
like, because he's targeted a few people within the same industry where he's gone,
kidding.
well, they're going to be dumb.
Yeah.
You know? So,
yeah.
So, but yeah, it's unraveling now. I mean, it's not unraveling, but it's becoming like we've taken the string off the package now and it's all out there. So for our listeners who were wondering over the last 3 weeks where this story is going, this is it. This is where it was going.
Don't worry, I was wondering as well. I was like, how much longer?
But we're there. We're well and truly in cuckoo land, and like the story's about to wrap up. But yeah, I think it's at the point where it's like that's when she's come to us and gone, I need to tell this story because we might have listeners who have
know Tyson or
experienced
Christian.
this man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know. And you never know. This could be, even if people aren't listening to this now in real timeline, if you're listening to this in the future sometime and, you know, say it's 2026 and you come across our podcast from 3 years prior and you listen to this, you never know. You might have met this guy or someone like him. But be aware. There'd be crazy shit out there.
Yep.
All right, let's get it on.
Go.
Fucking hell.
But these women have not questioned anything.
Time to make this shit up.
Someone who's a very sad, pathetic loser. So his mum's had breast cancer with one of my friends, but not with, and he had a different mum's name. Because I asked everything. Like, people must think that I must have fallen for this. I literally was like, what's your mum's name? And then I'd bring up the mum's name later on down the track, and he would be like, oh yeah, like my mum's fine. I'd be like, oh, how's blah blah? And he'd be like, oh yeah, she's fine, my mum's fine. Yeah, I'm like, so he obviously recognizes those names. But if he's telling multiple people different names, because the fourth girl he told a different name.
Yeah.
So, and the dad's name and the brother's name, and then with the fourth girl, he had an autistic brother. So he had a dead brother and now an autistic brother. But across everyone, he's always had a sister.
Fuck, this must be exciting for him.
I think he gets off on it.
Yeah.
But like I just don't know, what do you want? What are you doing? Just having little wanks and sending little wank videos? Because I can tell you right now, I get them all the time.
Well, yeah. Well, every woman I know is getting those. Like, you don't have to.
Got one last night, and I was like, "What the hell? They haven't even had that much of a conversation with this person."
No, you don't even have to. No,
oh my God.
It's like Karen, who messages the show. Like, she sends me screenshots, like several times a week, of guys and the way that they approach her, and the conversations and the way that they speak. And there's a group that we're in called OK Stupid, and women talk about that kind of thing as well, because like, OK Stupid. Yeah, but it's amazing. Like, I don't understand. It's just like I can't comprehend the thought pattern, and I'm not a psychologist, neither are you, but I'm also not fucking stupid. But
I just need to know who it's working on. Like, it's a numbers game, obviously.
But
like,
for
if you
what?
message 100...
What's working, though? What is he getting? Where's he going?
I don't know. I don't know. Does he pick one real extra vulnerable one and then does that? Or does he just get like a bunch of nudes and then he just like, I don't know, like the American Beauty scene where he's just got everyone's nudes like falling over him like the rose petals? Like, is it that?
And because
or is
there's
it like,
some sort of like, there's something in him that it's more exciting for him. Because like I can, watch porn or find nudes, but maybe for him it's because they came from someone that he got them to do that. He manipulated them into sending it, so it's someone he's connected with, so therefore he gets a better wank from it.
Yeah, maybe, because like I did ask both the women. Obviously, he didn't get that much into a conversation with my friend, but my first friend and then my second friend. I said, did he ever ask you a specific? To the point where he drew me a picture of how he wanted me posed. Little stick figure, like he drew that, and I was like, yeah, I can do this photo, like that. I love a challenge. Men, don't do this to me because I will literally get mad. But I was like, yeah, sure, like I will send this picture. I'm pretty confident I can get and do you know what? I one-upped the picture and sent a video. I'm an idiot. I sent a video because I'm like, oh, don't even give me a challenge. I will definitely meet that challenge and then rise above that challenge.
Just write that down. Challenge back. Yep.
So I'm thinking to myself, if he's not asking them, why has he done that specifically to me? And why did he do this to me for so long? Because none of them had heard of Tyson before. None of them. So he's come back for round 2 with me specifically. Does he think that I'm that compliant that I will do it again? Because no, I'm very fast learner.
No. Well, yeah, you're obviously sitting here telling me you're not a fucking idiot.
I don't get it. Like, I mean, for me, I feel like to come back again is the weird part. Like, you should have just left it, but to come back again and think that you're gonna, like, he's definitely wrapping those pictures.
It's one of those things. It's like when you get caught doing something, you can, you say you're doing the wrong thing, you can either go, yeah, I did the wrong thing, or you can go, shit, I need to create more lies to save face because of my own ego.
But he never once sent, this is the part that blows my mind, he never once sent any videos of his face or photos of his face. He only sent them to me. So I'm pretty sure I've seen his face.
Right, yeah.
I think that is his real face. So I think I made more of a connection with him.
Yeah.
And that's why he came back again. That's what I think. I suspect.
But I still don't know what his end game is if he's not prepared to meet you.
I think he's too scared. So he has to create this, because if he met me in real life, I'm going to see that he's lying.
Okay, I just want to give her a big hug and say, even then, when there's clearly shit going on, she's still like hopeful that really she was the one. She was it. And then he just manipulated other people. Don't you think that's...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just,
I think she's... I think it's affected her a lot more than she's letting on.
I think so.
Like, she's being very stoic and tough about it, but I think that like there's a part of her which is really quite hurt by this experience.
And I think when you realise you've been catfished or you've been like manipulated like this, and then when they go back for a second time and then you realise there's so many more people out there, you're just like, wow, like I've managed to fall for this almost twice in a way. And he's clearly very good at it.
Well, she didn't fall for it twice.
The second time she didn't. Sorry.
The second time round, she's gone,
yeah,
I'm going to find this guy out and catch him and identify him, because her whole point was, and that's what I said with coming to me, was that she hopes to identify this person, and she's like, well, Damo's got a podcast that women listen to. So she's just hopeful that someone will resonate with someone in a really specific way, and that maybe they will go, hold on a second, I know that guy, or whatever, because he does need to be caught.
Yeah.
So I can see that. So the second time round was her. Yeah. Second time round, it was her going, I need to catch this guy now. I'm pissed off.
Yeah. Honestly, I know we're still listening, but I just want to say, for anybody who, like, just listen to your intuition. Like, I know you've said this to me 50,000 times and I'm getting better at it, but if your intuition is saying, nah, there's something weird, just get out. Get out.
Yeah.
That's all I've got to say about that.
If it feels weird, but what is that thing about ducks? If it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and it quacks, it's probably a duck.
Mm.
You know, like, this guy's a duck. It was straight up, this guy's a duck. And an interesting point where she said that her friend organised one date with the guy.
Yep.
He
got out.
Pulled out because of his bullshit.
Yeah.
And so she went, moved on. Yep. Beck didn't do that. She's gone, I'll try again because of that hope we were talking about. Yep. But then because of all that hope she put into it, when he came back, instead of going, fuck you, man, she went, I'm going to fucking hurt this guy because he has hurt me, or because I held hope that he was a good person. Yeah. He's clearly not, so I'm going to get him.
Yeah. And I get that
too.
Yeah, and I get that. I totally do. I just wouldn't allow myself to get to that point of being hurt so much that I feel the need to hurt someone else, except for my ex-husband.
Yeah. No, that's fair. All right, we'll carry on because it's nearly finished.
Okay.
And then we're done.
Whoa!
And I got some stories. Just moving forward. So future episodes, we've already got a couple of subjects in the bag.
Yeah.
You've mentioned the what are we talking about? The need, that lack of self-worth that people have that drives them back to their ex or considers going to their ex or to a previously shit person. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about power and how that's used in relationships. But I also want to tell a story about my friend's son who is a fan of Andrew Tate.
Okay.
But
I'm scared,
we'll discuss that in the future. But yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, let's finish this saga. We're just on... Yeah, we're at just about... We've had a break from that for a few weeks, so that's good. You might not have, but the podcast has.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've just reached under an hour now, so depending on edits, so probably about 50 minutes.
Cool.
So we might as well just push through and finish this up. And
got this.
Yeah.
I'm going to see he's not 35, 36, 37. I'm going to see, like, you do look older. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm already going to see that. I'm going to see that you're not this fit drummer man with nice arms. I'm going to see that you're probably like a chubby, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't fucking lie about it. Yeah, be who you are. That's like, if I have a connection with someone, the physical part will not matter to me 100%. And I know this is the same for most women. I know a lot of women who
helps to have an attraction though.
Yeah, of course. You eat with your eyes first. We go to a restaurant because the food looks good. If someone served you dog shit on a plate but said it tasted amazing, you're not going to eat it. So it's the same physical part of people.
Oh, well, like people, I'll create a dish and then I'm like, you've got a freaking ring light right there for taking photos of food, and I have all these.
I'm just saying, I haven't eaten all day. So all I've had is a protein bar, but so I'm pretty hungry. No, I'm just joking.
But yeah, no, you can present things a certain way, and it's all. I did actually say this. I made a burger recently, and it was made with a very small bun, about the size of like a McDonald's cheeseburger, but I stacked it a certain way, and then I took a photo of it with the right lighting and angles, and it was huge. And one dude commented on my Instagram or wherever it was, "Oh fuck, that's huge. How do you get your mouth around that?" And I said, "It's amazing how big you can make things look."
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, that man probably had a micro.
Yeah,
and,
I said, it's amazing how big you can make things look with the right angles and lighting. And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that." I'm like,
well, obviously he's not sending dick pics, so that man is probably actually quite a good bloke.
Yeah,
but I just think to myself, I don't understand why. So first of all, I know a lot of women who do this. I have friends who face tune their faces. They do this. I do use a filter on my pictures, but I use what's called the no filter filter. It does not adjust anything on my face. My eyes are the same place, but it blurs my pores and my imperfections.
Well, I was going to say, so there are ones that they will take your blemishes out. But there are ones that'll change your bone structure.
Yeah, and I hate those ones. I hate those ones because I actually feel sick when I see it because I don't think I look like me.
There's also some really convincing ones that will change features, like for a man, your beard.
Yeah.
Or the color of your eyes, the shape of your eyebrows, the hair you have. You can completely change your appearance. And then you mentioned something about the video editing and stuff like that. You can use Adobe Premiere or Adobe Illustrator, which is what professional.
Oh, I have it. I have it.
yeah.
My kids have it because they
So-
they take videos and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Adobe Illustrator, is what like movie studios use to create fake people. So like Avatar, for example, and things like that. These people don't exist. So it is not beyond someone with a little bit of technical ability. And the guy's a nerd. He said he's a nerd. It's not beyond someone to create a completely fake image of themselves that doesn't exist.
Yeah, and but the thing is, women do this quite a lot, and then they wonder why they get rejected in person. I feel like
you
this
can't
happens a lot.
misrepresent yourself.
Yeah, and I've got the friends that tuck in their waist and all their photos, and
the way you stand and stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of it too.
Yeah.
I will stand in a certain pose, and
I follow you on social media, and I see you post your photos, like when you go out on a Saturday night and whatever, and you show your full body.
I always do the mirror selfie.
Yeah, it's like it's pretty obvious that you're not a tall person.
Yeah.
Right.
My mirror is not very tall at all.
No. So
and I
it's
fit inside that mirror very easily.
So you're not just being deceptive. So when you do have a close up of your face and it's like there's a filter on it, it's like, well, I know that's what you look like. And I'm sitting here looking at you right now.
But it's given me a complex now because I feel like so many people use these filters. I always ask people when I meet them. I met a guy recently and I said, I look like how I look in real life, right?
You do.
And he was like, yeah. And
you
he was
absolutely
like,
do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always am conscious now because so many people are complaining about catfish women. Like catfish women are a big thing. Men always complain about it. I'm like, I always make sure that I say, I'm not skinny. I never will be skinny. I am this build. Like, this is how I stay. So, I don't plan on getting fatter. Don't get me wrong there. But I'm happy with who I am. So, I feel like this is something that men should be comfortable doing too because you should be comfortable in who you are. If you don't have the confidence to be meeting people without editing your photos, like I send people photos with no makeup on. I'll be like, send a video where I'm talking. Like I'm fine with that. I'm like, I'm ugly right now. And they'll go, no, I bet you're not. I'm like, dude, I'm ugly right now. So, I mean, I'm not, but I'm like not wearing makeup. I don't look like how I normally look, what they see. And I wear makeup nearly every day for work. Unless...
But you're also like, you're good at your makeup.
Yeah,
like,
and the thing is, I can structurally change some parts. Like I can hide my double chin with a bit of contouring. I can structure my cheekbones to look
like
more.
you're wearing makeup right now.
I'm wearing tinted moisturizer and contour.
But that's you still have a normal looking face.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're about to go on stage as a drag queen.
No, exactly. I don't even like heavy makeup. So most of the time when people see me, I'm not really wearing much. Yeah. And like I said today, I'm wearing tinted moisturizer and some powder and some contour and some cheek color, which to a lot of men are like, oh, that's so much, but really it's not.
Isn't it funny when you see these things? We're gonna have to wrap it up because we've gone extremely long.
I know you're gonna got a lot of editing
This
now.
is probably going to be 2 episodes, but we'll work that out.
That's fine.
But it's fine by me because it gives us more content. But yeah, you see posts of like, and I get in there and just go, why don't you just shut the fuck up and let people do what they want? And this is where men and women, like, how do you feel about women wearing makeup? And all these men going, I prefer natural and I hate makeup. And it's like, how about it's got fuck all to do with you, how women present themselves?
Well, hold on. I actually have one of my best friends is a man, and he's a bit older than me as well. And he says that when men say they don't like women who wear makeup, they don't know that women are wearing makeup when they see them without.
That's right.
So what they think that they are seeing is not actually a makeup-free face.
Yeah.
It's like mascara, maybe a neutral eyeshadow, and like a tinted moisturizer like I'm wearing today. So
it's not how you wake up when you crawl out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
What they're looking at is they're going, I saw photos of fucking, whoever at the Met Gala thing. That I don't like. That's too much makeup, Donatella Versace,
Oh yeah, and or they told. So this is the thing about my face, because obviously I have very structured eyebrows and I have lip filler in currently. Most people don't know I have lip filler because I haven't gone excessive. It's not. It doesn't look like it. So men go, I hate fillers and Botox, and I go, do you? Why are you having a conversation with me then?
Yeah.
And they go, oh, well, you haven't got that stuff in your face. I'm like fuck, I do.
I do.
I pay a lot of money. My face is like 1,200 right now. So yeah, I do. But I don't want to look like I'm not doing. I pay a lot of money to look natural.
Yeah, and it's like the whole who can say they're who here can say they're perfectly, they're 100% natural, and people are like, oh, I don't do anything. It's like, good on you. That's your choice. You don't have to but some people do, some people don't.
Yeah, I don't have to. But the thing is, I feel like I'm consciously telling people like all the time before I meet them, I'm not skinny, I'm not this, I'm not that. But then there's these catfish that they're conscious. I don't know why they just feel like they can.
Sometimes it's insecurity as well because they've been like,
I would want to avoid that. I would want to, I don't know. I kind of put everything out there. I'm like, this is my shit. If you can't handle it, that I've been in a DV relationship, then don't come near me.
A big one
if
is
you can't respect my boundaries in that, fuck off.
A big one is the up high selfie where it's like
I'm just face and boob if I do that. So
that's what I mean, because that's the whole point.
Hides everything.
All you see is face and boobs.
Yeah, but I already get enough attention for my boobs, so I don't want even more. I just get like, oh, send me them. I'm like, no thanks.
Boobies.
Yeah, instantly. That's
my
just the conversation's out the window.
Because you have boobs.
Yeah. It's very sad.
But anyway, on boobs, we'll wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and telling your story.
That's okay. Thanks for letting me chat about myself for a very long time.
That's okay.
I love it. I love the sound of my own voice.
Well, if you've got more stories to tell, which I'm sure you do, then
I always do.
I'm sure we'd be welcome again.
I definitely can come in and share my horrible dating stories.
That sounds
how
good.
much I'm a fool. So I'm quite happy.
Shit, you live and learn, right? And so, fuck, by this point, you must have learned a lot, yeah?
Yeah, I really have.
And you're just going to
I don't even know if I'm learning at this point. I think it's an experiment now. I'm like, how fucked up can I make things in my life? And let's go with it.
Well, I mean, that's like I said, we had this conversation with Sky last week, and it's just a kind of it's not going to get easier. You just have to learn to deal with things in a different way. But anyway, thank you so much once again.
No worries, thanks for having me.
It's been great. And that's the end.
That's me doing like a explosion.
So what a story, hey?
That's full on. Obviously,
what
we'll never know.
Hang on.
Oh.
A cat just walked through, and now I've got a terrible humming sound. What the fuck? It's coming up on my recording too. What did you do? All right. Okay. It's the guitar lead being activated. All right. That's better. There was just a weird hum came up for a while there. Yeah. So what a story, huh?
What a story. Yep. What a story. So we'll never know. We'll never know who Tyson Christian is.
No. I mean, I could get in touch with Beck again and see if there's been any updates.
Has she commented on any episodes that she's heard them, or?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I told her I'd send her links once we've uploaded them all.
Okay.
So, and I did tell her that we'd done one episode. So
is she not a regular listener
or not? No, she's listened to a few. We've got quite a back catalogue now.
We do.
Actually, speaking of new listeners, went out to a gig a few weeks ago and bumped into someone who I'm going to use her nickname. It goes by Molotov. Okay. And we started talking about things as you do, and the podcast came up, and I said, you should check out my podcast because of the content we were discussing. And she went, okay, I will do that. And then when she got home from the gig, or the next morning, she's messaged me and gone, what was the name of your podcast again? And I'm like, oh, people don't normally do that. So I sent her the link, and she's now a regular listener. Yay. So she's been going back, and she's not doing them. She's doing them Sky Dollop style, where she's going through and she's finding the titles of episodes that appeal to her and listening to them. So it's all out of order. But that doesn't really matter with our podcast.
Not so much.
Although there is the odd callback. So she's now become a fan, and she's I just wanted to give her a shout out because she says she's enjoying it. And thanks for coming along for the ride.
Well, one of the guys who works with me in the IT department, he's mid-30s, and he's loving it. He came up to me the other day and he's like, I need to know what happens next with the catfish. I'm like, just wait, we're going to record. You'll get it soon. He's loving it.
Yeah. I don't think, like, you didn't expect, but I don't think anyone, like, I know when I was telling, because I got the story in bits, and then when she sat down and told me the full story that day, that's why I just let it go for the 2 hours. 2 hours of raw, unedited audio we got from that interview, which turned into 4 episodes. So that's 4 hours of podcast content. But, no idea that it was going to get so full on. And it's not just this guy faked his face or whatever. This is a full-blown fake personas, fake backstory, multiple women. Yeah.
It's crazy. By the end, it was crazy. I still will say now to everyone who is online dating, if you feel like something's off, fucking get out. That's all I'm saying.
Fucking get out. Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, I hate to say this, but like, and I've said it to you before, but you've made a really clear point through these episodes about hope, right? Where a lot of times men and women will do it, where you just, like you meet someone or you don't meet them or you chat to them and then something happens where you turn around and you just go, oh my fucking God, I can't believe that guy turned out to be such a fuckwit. I can't believe they just randomly sent me that dick pic.
Yep.
I was having a nice conversation with them and then suddenly they've talked about doing doggy in the bushes. Like to reference a recent screenshots you sent me, right? It's almost like I feel like grabbing you and going, this happens. And it's happened before and it will happen again. And then you do things like you say, I'm not dating anymore. I'm giving up. No, you're not.
I know. I sent you a message
that this happens.
the other day and I was very dramatic where I was like, maybe some people are just meant to be single forever. Anyway, fortunately you didn't do anything and I went, unsend.
No, I saw it.
I saw it.
Yes.
But I was like,
I saw it on my watch.
No, I know you saw it, but
and
I was
then I'm like, and you said, actually, don't respond to that. And then you unsent the message. And so I just completely glossed over it. I'm like, she doesn't want to talk about it. She's realized the futility of that statement. But ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners, I know that it's like every time it happens, it's a shit thing, but it's going to keep happening. Unfortunately, because that's just the world we live in these days. And if you, like, nobody wants to be alone, but at the same time, you've got to balance out, and this is leading into next week's episode, you have to balance out the neediness or the loneliness or, you got to find what it is that is actually important to you, and it's not having a partner.
And honestly, to me, and that's what I say to myself all the time, it's just having self-respect and loving yourself. I know we're going to talk about this more next week, but even this whole catfish, just respect who you are and that you deserve that respect back.
Yeah. And don't, like, the amount of times, if we could go back, the amount of times Beck called herself stupid or said it was her for the, no, you just had too much hope.
And that's what it is.
And then you got vindictive and vicious.
Yes.
But she also will admit that. She did. She was like, I'm going to get this guy. So, yeah. But anyway, we'll wrap it up. And next week, I really want to delve into this because it was like 4 weeks ago you said this and I have given it some thought. So we'll have a talk about it. So anyone out there who's listening, and I know I've the last few episodes I've been chucking the socials on at the end of the episode because we
don't talk about it.
But please contact us. No, because we've been caught up in this fucking saga. So here we are 4 weeks later or 6 weeks later or whatever it was when we first started doing it. But yeah, please, if you've got any thoughts or input, then hit us up on the social media.
Oh, so Facebook, In My Lounge Room podcast. And then Instagram is In My Lounge Room. And obviously I haven't transferred it yet, but we'll be on Threads. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Cool.
Yeah. It's Twitter under a different name, but whatever.
Yeah, under Meta. And let's be.
It was just that whole thing.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No, I was just going to say, it was just so easy to you got a notification from Instagram. It said, do you want to be on Threads? And you just go, yeah. And then it transfers all of your follows across and finds those people for you. I'm like, oh, that was easy. Whether or not I actually use it, who cares? But yeah,
so I've been on it heaps because obviously working in social media, I need to feel like I'm confident because also, just you can't just be like, yeah, it looks good. And I think it's like Twitter and Instagram had a baby with some TikTok DNA.
Yeah, I think that from what I see, it's obviously an alternative to Twitter, but Twitter is something that I use for news.
Same.
Like the things that I follow on Twitter, I follow like, the ABC. I follow
lots of journalists.
The police.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. I follow WA Police.
Yep.
I follow news outlets. Yeah. So like when there's an alert, like tonight there was someone in my local area. Although you get these through SMS. A 10-year-old girl went missing at 7:50 this morning and hadn't been seen all day. So yeah, she just wandered off from her house. So Twitter's good for that. So I may or may not get involved in there, but yeah, we should get on there. But either way, skyandamo@gmail.
Oh yeah, that too.
Get in touch with us. Contact either of us personally if you know us or if you feel comfortable. You can contact one of us and tell us your story.
Please do.
Or just
ask a question,
whatever you want. Anyway,
whatever.
Provide content,
please. We love it.
Give feedback, whatever. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about you.
We will.
But that's full disclosure right there. If you do message us, we'll ask you permission, but we're probably not going to say your name unless you're someone that we know. But anyway, that's a really long final episode. Thanks for sticking with it. But back next week, we're going back to normal activities.
Excellent. Yes. Woo.
All right.
Bye.
All right. That's it. Done.
Done. Woo.
Thank you for listening to In My Lounge Room. Intro music, as always, written and performed by yours truly. Please feel free to check out my original music on your favourite streaming platform. Just search for my name, Damien McKay, DAMIENMACKAY. See you next time.